Hi, friends. Welcome to my daily diary. I want to tell you today what I did each day from January the 8th through the 13th of 2023. So, the 8th was a Sunday when I was here at my office, catching up on a lot of things, preparing for the March for Life and other events, doing lots of posting on social media, communicating with our website department about postings for the website, communicating with our team that works with the Vatican, communicating with some of our leaders in Rachel's Vineyard, and working here at my desk, doing a live broadcast about the meaning of the Feast of the Epiphany. Also, our videographer was here, Kurt from New Jersey, who was doing some work in the studio, so I had some meetings with him. And then I continued with getting some things taken care of at my desk with communication with other pro-life groups. And then I went over down to Merritt Island, where I had a meeting with our executive director and with some people who are moving in right near where she lives, who have been friends of Priests for Life from a very long time ago. We first met them when they were living in California, and now they're going to be very close to us here in their new home. But we had a lot of planning work to do and did so during the course of the afternoon for upcoming broadcasts and upcoming work. And then I had a 6:30 p.m. Hour-long call with some of our other administrative team members. And after doing a little more work, drove back to my office and reached the end of the day. Monday, January the 9th, busy day here again at the office, and starting out with some morning desk work. Let's see, on things like approvals for mailings, approvals for an action alert that I wrote actually, calling for some communication with Congress, as you see when you get our action alerts, press release approval, likewise, approval of a article for an opinion piece, some matters relating to our physical facility to approve, and then also creation of a video for the March for Life, for which we are a key sponsoring group, and that video will be played during the rally. Now, on Monday the 9th, in the morning after the staff meeting, I got into the TV studio together with Janet Morena, our executive director, and we taped 4 programs for a series that we call End Abortion. And you'll see her and me on this series weekly, together with our other broadcasting, of course, after that. Had a quick lunch and then had lots of staff meetings before I had to leave for the airport, meetings with our technology people, our social media people, our resource department, and our radio team, planning for upcoming events. I did some work on the prayer service booklet. For the National Prayer Service, I'll be leading in Washington on the day of the March for Life, and so forth. At 3:45, had an interview with a pro-life state senator, had me on his program, and then at 4 o'clock was picked up to be driven to the Orlando airport, did some work in the car, at the gate, and then on the plane, on my computer, and then in the car on the way to my hotel in Washington, D.C., where I was flying to, and then arrived there just in time to go to bed. And that was Monday, January 9th. Now, on Tuesday the 10th was the meeting that I had in Washington all day with conservative leaders. Our executive director was also there. And we got started early in the morning and heard presentations from various people. There were members of Congress there and other conservative and pro-life, pro-family leaders. That meeting went all right through the day up until about 3:30. Now, I'm sorry, until about 3 o'clock. And then Janet and I got on the phone with a number of key leaders and administrative people. So we had about like 2 hours of phone calls after that meeting finished, after which we had some dinner there in D.C. and some communication with our staff in the evening as well. That was on the 10th of January. Going on to, on the 10th also, I had email work relating to trip invitations, upcoming media invitations, plans for 40 Days for Life, The board resolution that was made supporting my leadership was sent out to the public, preparation for our annual donor survey. I worked on resources for Sanctity of Life Sunday, a letter to our top donors, and continuing to accept, receive, and respond to condolence letters, all of that in those in-between times when I was working on my email. Wednesday, January 11th came along, and this was a day of various meetings in Washington, D.C. So I started off, as usual, catching up on various email on my laptop. Let me see here some of the topics. An endorsement of a new book coming out from Ignatius Press, getting posted on our website our latest independent audit, which is another good healthy audit, media appointments coming up, upcoming events, giving my input and approval for them, approval for email blasts, and also various commentary on the votes being taken that day in the House of Representatives. And it was about that we proceeded to go to the offices of the majority leader in the House of Representatives. And we met with key staff there about a pro-life legislation for the new Congress, including the two bills being voted on that day, a resolution and a bill, a resolution about the pregnancy centers, condemning the attacks on them, and a bill to expand protections for babies born alive after a failed abortion. So Janet and I had that meeting for about an hour, and then we went over to another congressional office of Congressman Chris Smith, one of the co-chairs of the Pro-Life Caucus in the House, and we had a good meeting with him, his chief of staff, his legislative director, and just went over a lot of things there about upcoming work to be done for our movement. At that point, Janet stayed there in the Congress, and she attended the debates and votes on the two pro-life measures that were up for that day. I, in the meantime, went over to the America First Policy Institute and had some strategic meetings and lunch there. After that, I went over to see John Solomon of Just the News and had a good conversation over there as well. We'll be working in conjunction with him and his team in the coming months. As I was going to and fro, I was checking in with my office and my staff and my emails on such things as updates to the website and social media postings, media inquiries for me, approval of various appeals, and action alerts. Then went over to see Seb Gorka and was on his program for a 4:30 interview over there in Arlington. After that, met back up with Janet at on Capitol Hill, and we did some work in the evening connecting with our staff and following up on the important votes that were held, getting out publicity and commentary on those. So that was Wednesday the 11th. On Thursday the 12th, I flew early from Washington, D.C. up to New York and to visit with my mom and to follow up on various things with the family. And we had time together there, of course, visiting at home and also visiting in the afternoon with an attorney helping to close out affairs in regard to my dad's passing. And we took care of those things and just had time with the family, and interspersed with that communication, again, as usual, with my office and staff in regard to especially preparations for the following week's events to happen in Washington with the March for Life. Friday, the 13th of January, I took care of some things at the house for my mom in the morning, early morning, and then got a car at 9:15 to take me to the airport, flew back to Washington, actually. And there I was picked up by some of the local, let me just get my detailed schedule here when I go on these trips. We have a detailed hour-by-hour itinerary that gets printed on these yellow pages. So I was picked up by a local pro-life leader, and we went immediately to a hall where there was a news conference that I presented. After that, had some time to work on, various communications with my office regarding things like the March for Life trip plan and our donor surveys and also e-blasts that we were sending out. And then had a nice dinner with pro-life activists from, this was in Bethesda, Maryland, by the way, where these events were taking place. A nice dinner with pro-life activists, a lot of networking with them. And then a major evening event with 2 talks. One of them was given by Michael Hitchborn, and then I gave my talk regarding the upcoming March for Life, the upcoming initiatives and priorities of our movement, and reflecting on my work over the past 30 years and what it has taught us and the way forward for the future. So it was a great night of talks, answering Q&A, networking with some really, really great pro-life people. That was Friday, the 13th of January. So those are the days for this particular report on my daily diary. Thanks so much for watching it. Spread it around and let's promote accountability and transparency on the part of all our leaders. Thank you for supporting our work for the unborn. We are going to end abortion. Let's do it together.